बैकड्रॉप की क्यों हम लोग एनपीडी मनाते हैं. तो अदर देन दैट माय फेवरेट पार्ट we are on field, हम लोग सब धूल मिट्टी में मिलके we are just doing our duty. But today is the day we can really look nice.
We keep on saying that this is health insurance. Basically, CMA, AY or PMJ in Arunachal Pradesh, we are not running in an insurance model. So we are basically assurance model. So that because the predecessor of this particular scheme was on an insurance model, so people are now it's the fixed that it is a health insurance scheme.
Electronic Media Association, Digital Media Association, ये बहुत confusion create करता है सबको, हमको, पब्लिक को. यहाँ में जब 22 अगस्त में मेरा अरुणाचल पायनियर लॉन्च हुआ था. लॉन्च होने का बाद आफ्टर 3 months हमने फर्स्ट टाइम नेशनल प्रेस डे अटेंड किया. उस समय में तबा आजम भाई वाज द प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ अरुणाचल प्रेस क्लब. तो उस समय हमने देखा ये हम लोग का मीडिया जो ये 2 रो में भी भर्ती नहीं होता था. तो हम लोग ऑडियंस फिलअप करने के लिए हम लोग आउटसोर्सिंग करता था. ये DNG कॉलेज से, डॉन बॉस्को कॉलेज से, लॉ कॉलेज से मैंने मिनी बस रिजर्व करके हम लोग ये ऑडियंस को फिलअप करने के लिए मैनेज करता था. तो उस समय तो बहुत दुख लगता था कि मीडिया इतना कम है. लेकिन अभी इतना मीडिया ग्रोथ हो गया, मीडिया पर्सनल ग्रोथ हो गया कि मछली बाजार जैसे हो गया. ऐसे लगता है कि अरुणाचल मीडिया जो डंपिंग ग्राउंड हो गया, तो कोई भी आके मीडिया पर्सन बन जाता है.
Okay, I'm here with Karpu ma'am. Ma'am, can you please tell us about how the event, culminated?
Event was very fruitful and on a brighter part, on a lighter part. For the very first time we had this cultural program. तो वहाँ पे लड़की लोग ने बहुत मेहनत करके they performed very well. And other than that we had 2 panelists from Manipur and Meghalaya. So basically it was about how to to have a discussion on electronic media, the mushrooming of electronic media and so on. So as per my experience, it was really fruitful, and I would really like to thank the organizing committee and the 2 panelists from Meghalaya and Manipur who have managed to come all the way from their states and be a part of this event.
Before you go, ma'am, one last question. So there was a discussion going on the wages of the people in the media, right? Do you have something to you have something to say on that?
This particular question was asked to me many times by the junior college, to be very honest, and I don't have a concrete answer for this, but that time also I replied the same thing ki it is my passion which is keeping me go ahead in this particular profession. It is going to be my 10th year this time, and I still have this passion and I still have this freshness. Whenever I go to field, I feel blessed, and for any report, for any article, I give my 100%. So at the end of the day, once my article is published and once I get support and appreciation from others, it keeps me going. So that is the only thing I told to my juniors also, and I will tell you the same thing also. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time. First of all, happy National Press Day. So how was your experience, ma'am? The whole experience from today's event?
I think it was superb. A really great day spent with the members of the press community, because I think it is really seldom that we get a chance to meet everybody, starting from the print to the electronic media. And I think a huge round of applause to the organizers. That would be the Arunachal Press Club and the Union of Working Journalists for bringing in panelists who are so wise and who have a lot of experience in the field of journalism, for that matter. And we had Mr. Pradeep Fanjubam from Manipur, senior journalist, of course. We had with us Mr. Gabriel Wangsu, sir, and he is of course the legislator now, but then he began his career as a journalist. And then they have given us, especially to the youngsters who are new to the media, they have given us a lot of pointers, valid points actually to work on. And I think if you follow it, these are the tenets of ethical journalism. And I think if you, for the youngsters, I think it's like a beacon. And again, yeah, kudos to the organizers. And I wish everyone, especially my tribe, a very happy National Press Day.
Okay, ma'am. Before you go, one last question. As there was a discussion going on during the whole event about the wages of the people in the media, as they are being underpaid or something like that. So, what's your take on that, ma'am?
Yeah, that's a very valid question actually. For some time now, that's a question which has been bothering the publishers as well, and even members of the fraternity, the journalists, I would say. And this is something which really needs to be addressed and discussed forward, because I think let me set the tone straight in the beginning. That is, I think we are a compassionate lot. It's everyone is empathetic of the situation. So it's not a situation where anybody is out to hurt somebody or exploit somebody. But then you also need to understand very well that Arunachal media is very small. It's very limited in terms of revenue, and then revenue translates directly to salaries or enhanced salaries, right? So this is something which is a constant struggle for publishers as well, because and then another big problem which is adding to this stalemate, I would have to say, is that we are solely dependent on government revenue, government advertisement, and then it so happens that there is no time limit for the government to pay us up, that is our dues, as in terms of advertisement revenue. So let's say an ad which we have placed, which we have published in the year 2018, we are yet to get paid for that. So this actually, it's a cumulative burden which publishers actually of all media houses are facing. And then the past 2 years has been really, really difficult with the pandemic setting in. So, us being one of the members of the managing editorial desk, I know the in and outs of what is happening, be it the management aspect and even the journalistic part of things. So I think this is something which, we would like to address it, given that the situation is slightly favorable for us as well.
Ma'am, should the transparencies, should it be maintained between the publisher and the workers, who are directly in touch with the field, who are there, who work so hard to, get company to a new level. So what do you think? Like, as the panelists today, we're talking about the transparency, right? So what do you think about that, ma'am?
See, it's a great thought, but then there are nuances, practicalities to certain things, and I think this is something which cannot be actually done in reality, because asking a publisher or the management to keep an open transparency, as in like what is what revenues or something like that, I think this will again create another problem of its own. I think that is not the way how to go about things. I think definitely if there is enhanced salary generation, revenue generation for that matter, I think every media house should look into the aspect of enhancing payments for their staff as well. But then of course the transparency bit, I think I'd like to not comment on it at the moment.
Thank you so much for your time. I'm here with Sir Amar Sangno, who is the president of Approach. Sir, welcome to the space and happy National Press Day. So sir, can you tell about your experience today, like how the whole event culminated?
It was a fantastic event. Happy National Press Day to everyone. In fact, on this day, we do observe the establishment of Press Council of India, as I mentioned in my earlier interview too. At the same time, today we organize a workshop, especially for young journalists who are new to this profession, and we had a resource person like Pradeep Panjavan from Manipur, who is a renowned journalist as well as an author, and who needs no introductions. And also we had Soumyadeep, Chaudhary from Shillong, but he came all the way from Noida. His expertise in digital media platform. And also we had a former journalist now in different profession, like Honorable MLA from Kanubari, Mr. Gabriel Dibangsu, he used to be a downlead post editor. He spoke a lot, and I think all of our young journalists, they learned a lot from them. And we had also Dae Sangno, my own brother. He's a CEO of Smart City and former associate editor in Eco Arunachal. And my former boss, who Jyoti Patar, he was experienced editor with Sentinel Arunachal as well as the Eco Arunachal. So I think young guys, they learn a lot from them, what they taught us.
Sir, judging by the discussion that took place today, is it really about passion or is it about the money in this field, sir? When you're working as a young journalist.
Of course, I would agree with this notion of patience, and to follow this profession you need to have patience. Otherwise, just in a state like Arunachal, you don't have any money, you don't have a resource to develop and make money. And I mean, relatively in other states, I don't know the scenario because I never work in other states. But in my state, if you join these professions looking after money, then you won't get anything.
So one last question. Sorry to keep you waiting. There was another discussion about mushrooms of media taking over the Arunachal right now. What's your take on the numbers of the growth of electronic media at this moment?
In fact, the growth of electronic media and the growth of any media is a good sign. But as long as you practice these professions fundamentally right, but if you dilute and if you gone astray from the profession and from ethics, that's that moment citizen will started questioning on your existence. Especially at this current moments, and I would say, and I also I could see so many media organizations are there, but some of media organizations, they are responsible for blaming entire state media because they are not following some ethics and journalistic principle. Unless you dilute and unless you violate journalistic ethics, I think nobody should question the mushroomings of media organization. In fact, it's a good sign, but I have to agree that some wrong trend is going on, and we need to be careful on that.
Message to the people who aspire to be journalists, sir?
Of course, this profession is a very challenging profession, but I won't say it's a lucrative, but very challenging professions. You have a great responsibility, but if you want to be, part of your societies and nation buildings, and journalism is one profession you can help your nation and your state.